Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here from New Jersey Exposed. Today is Saturday, February 18, 2023. Time is 2:01 p.m. Jersey time. Now, I don't say Jersey like that. I say Jersey. That's how I say it here in central New Jersey. But if you're in North Jersey or you're from Brooklyn or the rest of the transplants that come over here, you would say Jersey. Okay, so we got another one of these stories. Violence against women. This is the new thing that these cops, it used to be, I want to say, excuse me, child porn has been on the rise with cops, but I'm starting to see more stories of the violence against women. So it's a close race right now. Maybe violence against women might be the new go-to crime for these heroes instead of downloading and possessing child porn. This one is reported on NBCBoston.com. Comes out February 17, 2023. It reads as follows. Former Rowley police officer indicted on rape charges. Is anybody surprised? I know you're not surprised. I'll probably get 50 views on this video because nobody's surprised or appalled by the fact that there's another cop being charged with raping a woman. Violence against a woman. Here's the story right here. All right, let's find out. I did not read the story. A retired Massachusetts officer accused of rape has now been indicted by an Essex County grand jury. Perry Collins, a former officer of the Rowley Police Department, retired last spring. He was working as a patrol officer when the alleged rape occurred while he was off duty. Collins was tight-lipped when he headed back into court for a probable cause hearing. There was no reply when NBC 10 Boston asked him if he wanted to respond to the allegations or if he felt he had betrayed his oath as a police officer. Records obtained by NBC 10 Boston investigators show Collins was the subject of a dozen internal affairs investigations during his career and faced warnings of discipline in 6. Now, first thing I thought that this guy retired and all he was a patrol officer, so he never managed to get beyond being a patrol officer. So that tells me he's a slacker or he's got a lot of problems. He's got, a big file. Or maybe he's a problematic cop who's not going with the flow, because that's another way you don't get anywhere. It's if you don't go with the blue line flow, that can affect your career. And I know a cop like that. It has that little bit of a problem that he goes against the grain and questions things, and he's going to retire as a patrolman. But anyway, okay, the most serious was for abuse of overtime while working as a department court officer in Newbury District Court, the very court where he stood accused on Friday. Abusing over. So he's a time thefter. So he's a thief. Raleigh Police Department found Collins submitted overtime for hours never worked or just showed up to court when he wasn't needed. He was also reprimanded for manipulating the hours of details of his own benefit. Why wasn't this cop fired? This is time theft. How many of you people out there can go to work, lie to your boss and say, I worked this day and these hours? How many of you could get away with that and get caught? So say you put in for overtime or whatever it is, and then your boss pays you, and then boss comes back, hey, wait a second, you weren't here. How many of you get to keep your job? I bet the answer is 0. So this is a problematic cop. I had a history of doing things, and yet they just coddled him and strung him along. He was also reprimanded for manipulating the hours of details for his own benefit and ignoring a call for a well-being check. So he lied about his hours. He's supposed to respond to a call, and he doesn't. None of the cases are similar to the rape allegations he now faces. Collins has entered a not guilty plea in the case. He'll be arraigned in Essex Superior Court in April. He is collecting a $66,000 a year pension, but could lose that if convicted. So $66,000. So this guy was making 6 figures as a road cop, and now he's getting $66,000. This is just another good example where you got a bad cop. He has a history of being a bad cop, and the system just doesn't weed him out. That's all they have on that story there. But, you know, it's just, these stories that I do, they're really just, they're becoming repetitive. It's like, I look at the stories, go, why should I bother doing a story? I just did a story like this a week ago, or I did a story like that 2 weeks ago. It's the same stuff all the time. They're stealing, they're raping women, they're beating women up, they're attacking and hurting handicapped people. Forget the black man, he's getting shot in the back. He's getting pummeled, killed for doing nothing other than interacting with one of these creeps. Downloading the child porn, it's the same stories all the time. Maybe one of you people out there can go look at all my stories and do a categorize all these stories that I do. But, you know, I feel the boredom too, like you do, people out there. It's like, oh, I'm not going to listen to the story because it's just another story of rape or another story of child abuse, another violent story, oh, another lawsuit being paid out by the taxpayers for bad cop behavior. It's the same thing over and over and over and again. And nobody in law enforcement is doing anything to correct the problem. I'm doing more to try to correct the problem with the bad cops and law enforcement. They're not doing anything. All they do is put pictures of them reading stories to little kids, having coffee with a bootlicker, lemonade, Easter bunny. That's probably going to be the next thing. Easter eggs, trunk of Easter. They'll have Easter eggs in the back. Oh, I know. They'll have an Easter egg hunt with a cop. That'll probably be the next thing. And then spring's right around the corner, and then we'll have lemonade with a cop, and go to the beach with a cop. They're doing all these stories to manipulate you, and in the meanwhile, they're doing nothing to fix the problem in their own community. And law enforcement, you're broken, okay? You got a problem out there, and you need to fix it. How many more stories do I have to do before somebody in law enforcement sits down and says, you know what? This big mouth, New Jersey Exposed, he's got a point. When is it going to happen? But, it's never going to happen because the good ones are too chicken shit to do anything about it. And the bad ones are running the show. And then when they get caught, they get in trouble. The prosecutors arrest them. And then nothing happens. They make deals in the back room with their lawyers. And then nothing happens to these cops. They resign. They get their pension. They ride off in the sunset. Oh, they can never be a cop again. Yeah, in New Jersey you can't be. And they ride off to the sunset and nothing happens. And nothing's ever going to get fixed in law enforcement. I don't care how many videos out there. I guess maybe if a couple of lily white families get affected by it, maybe something will change. Maybe if they kill enough badge bunnies and rape enough children and download enough porn and maybe cost a couple zillion dollars in lawsuit sales, maybe someone will start paying attention what's going on. But in the meanwhile, they're not doing nothing. Law enforcement doing absolutely nothing to correct themselves. They're doing everything to manipulate you and to change your perception of them. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm John Van Dyke. Till next time.